Well, hello again everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another speed build video in The Sims 4. Happy Sunday, I hope you're having and have had the most amazing day and weekend ever. And today we are building in Newcrest and we are building a classic family home. This house has 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, with a kind of like a laundry room, you will see when we get inside, and also a downstairs office as well. So if you think this might be just a little bit small for some of my families, you can absolutely convert that office into a bedroom. But let me just talk about the elephant in the room before anyone sort of picks up on it. So as you can probably tell, I have replaced my RESHADE preset to the Dove RESHADE preset. So I will be, oh, sorry, I just sniffled right into my microphone because my hay fever is kicking my ass today. So I will be linking my new preset down below. So I have changed, I mean, it hasn't really caused too much of a problem. The only issue that I did have is that this is the second time me building this house. Me being me and me being the perfectionist that I am, I had built the exterior of this house with my old RESHADE preset and I was like, I can't do this. So I updated my preset like halfway through the build, so I just decided to restart it. So what I did was I'd actually put this on Twitter, and it was actually brown the first time I did it, and then I was playing around with a few different colours, and we ended up settling on this like grey paneling and grey brick, which I thought looked really nice. But yes, very happy with this RESHADE preset. I know a lot of people use this one. It's incredibly popular, particularly with a lot of like Sims builders on YouTube, I've noticed. And one of my very good friends, April, she also uses this preset, and I was like, I have to get it. I'm just in love with it. And so here we are. This is it completely unedited as well. I just increased the saturation within the settings. So yeah, I hope you guys don't mind, but this will be staying with us for quite a while, I think. Anyway, let's talk about the build. Let's not talk about RESHADE. You don't come here to hear me ramble on about RESHADE, have you? So, another family house, another very typical, probably suburban looking family house on the outside as well. The interior of this one is slightly different in style. It's not traditional, I wouldn't say, but it's not super modern either. I do really like how this one came out, and it was, again, a lot bigger on the inside than I had originally intended. Not that that's a bad thing. It's taken me, I reckon 2.5 hours to build. I reckon that's probably a good estimate. I don't time myself, but let's just put it out there, about 2.5 hours. That's all in, that's absolutely everything. As always, I have not included me doing the bathrooms in this build, apart from the one downstairs, but you'll see why once we get into the house. It's because it ends up being like a laundry room as well as a bathroom, so I just thought it would be kind of a cool idea to sort of include that in the footage, so I hope you guys don't mind that one. But the other 2 bathrooms upstairs I just didn't bother putting in the footage because it's wasted time, kind of, I feel, and yeah, I just don't think it's necessary. So as you can see, landscaping wise, we're doing what we always do. We are going completely nuts with the landscaping because I love doing landscaping in The Sims. I have my go-to flowers and bushes and stuff like that. And my concern at this point is that they're looking a little bit samey. So you'll have to let me know if you guys think that. It might be just me overthinking things completely, or it might genuinely be, yeah, Rach, you know, you need to probably broaden your horizons just a little bit. But I tend to go very sort of like white and green on the outside, but with this one we did put in a hint of blue just with those flowers there, which I thought it was really a really cute idea. I've never used them in the blue swatch, so I was like, yeah, why not? You know, we'll just crack on and try it, and I ended up really liking it. So really happy with this house. It's a typical suburban. It is what it is. I love doing, I think I talked about this in my previous speed build, I absolutely love doing suburban family houses. I think you can do so many things with them because they are versatile to a certain extent. Although I think my style I don't know really at this point. I think you can definitely tell when it's a build that I've done, which isn't a bad thing. It's just I feel like I maybe need to, again, broaden my horizon just a little bit and try some new things. But hey, if you find something that works, stick with it. That's what I say. So we found something that works, and that's pretty much it. Now, the plan is, as I'm sure you're all aware, we are on a bit of a countdown to the Country Living expansion pack. I am getting not early access, but I'm getting early access to the pack. The date is yet to be confirmed, so I will be posting updates on my community tab on my YouTube channel, so please keep an eye out for that. But yes, I'm hopefully, well, I am getting early access, we just don't know the date as of yet. So I'm thinking in the meantime, what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to try and build 2 more houses next on either side of this house and try and make like a little street in Newcrest. And then if you guys then want to download it and use it in your game, you've got like a little Newcrest street. I thought that might be kind of a neat idea, and just try and do some suburban family houses of similar style, but just a little bit different, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Anyway, that's the plan for the next week. I would say I'm going to try and get 2 speed builds out in the next week. I've been averaging about 1 speed build a week at the moment, and I'm not going to bore you with the details, but that's all I can manage right now, and that's okay. As long as I'm putting out regular content, I'm not too concerned. So enough about that. Here we are working on the kitchen, and I'm going to be honest, this is my 3rd attempt at this kitchen, because initially I went super traditional, and then I was like, no, this isn't working for me. So I ended up then going ultra modern with the Dream Home Decorator counters, and I was like, nope, I don't like this either. So then I was like, okay, well, I don't want to go too traditional, but I don't want to go too modern either. So I was like, okay, well, we'll use these counters from the Cool Kitchen stuff pack in black, which I know is a bit bold. Now, bear with me here, because I'm also trying a colour palette, which I was like, okay, this is gonna look cool. And then I was like, no, this is not the vibe that I wanted for this house. I wanted to keep it slightly more neutral than this. And so we end up changing the swatches and the rug out. You'll see in just a minute. It really doesn't take me long to realise, no, this is not what I want to do at all. I feel like with my building at the moment, I'm very indecisive, and not that that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. It's just that I like to keep this in the speed build so that you guys can see the process that I go through, especially with swatches and things like that, because you do change your mind. You do put something down and you're like, yeah, that looks good, and then you're like, nope, it doesn't, rip it out, start again, whatever. And it's all part of the process. And so I've started keeping more and more of this in my speed builds, so you'll see me here in just a moment. I'm trying to like preempt when I actually do this, but I end up neutralizing the whole thing and going like black, cream, brown with a little bit of blue. We do keep the blue, but we just completely remove the yellow. I honestly don't know what I was thinking with this. It's just not the vibe I wanted. Not that it looks bad, it doesn't look bad at all, but it's definitely not the vibe that I wanted to go for with this house. And so we end up just neutralizing the whole thing. As you can see, the area here is pretty open plan. I tried to create a divide for the kitchen, so we end up using like a half wall on the left there, so that counter your Sims can use to chop up all the ingredients for their cooking and things. And then we end up using these really cute shelves from the Dream Home Decorator pack just above that door there, and I thought that was just a really nice touch. I think it looks really cute. And on the right hand side there, that is the downstairs toilet. I would call it a utility room, because that's what we call them in the UK. So it's when you have a toilet and I suppose like a laundry room all in one. We call it a utility room, so let's call it that. But it doesn't have a bath or a shower in it. Now, my house in real life, my utility room has a shower, a toilet, a sink and a washing machine. So I suppose it just depends how it's all set up, but what I wanted to do was provide a toilet without it being a full bathroom, because we have 2 full bathrooms on the first floor. So I thought, okay, I mean, we can cope. And now we move on to the living area. I had absolutely no idea what to do with this space, I'll be honest. It's slightly strange in that there's a bit that sort of goes off to the right there, and that's simply because of the kitchen. But you can see I just restarted altogether because I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. So I actually had to go away for an hour and then come back because I was just thinking, oh, this is a bit much. So I ended up settling on these sofas from the base game, which I'm going to be completely honest, I think I've only ever used once. But for some reason with this house, I was like, yep, I think we should go for these. They used to look really boxy. I want to say boxy. I don't know. What do you guys think? Do they look... But, like, I'm looking at them now and they really don't look that bad at all. I don't know. I'm probably overthinking it like I normally do. But anyway, so we are working on the living room here, and yeah, I was just trying to utilize the space as best I possibly could, because what we end up doing as well is we put a dining room table just behind the kitchen here as well. So as again, I just think the living room, it's a bit strange, but I think we've made it work. We've made the best out of, I don't want to say a bad situation, but we've made the best of the situation. So again, keeping the decor kind of cozy, traditional, but with a little bit of a modern twist. I'm hoping we achieve that. I'm not very good at knowing like different styles of interior or exterior design. I just know that it's definitely not traditional and it's definitely not modern. It's kind of like a mix of the two. It's almost like the family that's moved here, they have sort of renovated the house. I can't imagine that the house came with like this wooden flooring or the kitchen counters. I think it's more traditional than that, but maybe the family they've renovated the house over the period of time that they've been in here. That's kind of the backstory that I'm going for. Anyway, and I'm going off on a little ramble, so So as you can see, we've finished pretty much the dining room space. It's really nothing special, but it was very important to me to try and fit a dining room table in this house. And looking back, so there's a room on the right hand side here which I ended up turning into a downstairs office. I could have very, very, very easily turned that into a separate dining room, but I thought you guys can absolutely do that if you download this house. It's very versatile. You could turn that room into another bedroom, or you could put the dining room there. You could put like an open archway in there if you wanted to. The only thing that stopped me from doing that was because I kind of smushed all the living room furniture to the right hand side. So I thought, well, this is going to look a bit strange if I just have this massive gap here. So that's why I put that there. You could still have a formal dining room in that room. There is absolutely nothing stopping you. I know there are some people on Tumblr who have downloaded my houses and either they've renovated to try and fit the needs of their families better, or because they don't have all the packs, but they send me screenshots and like tell me what they've done, and it's so nice to see, and it's so interesting to see how you guys change my builds. So if you ever want to do that, then you absolutely can. You can follow me on Instagram and you can follow me on Twitter. Both my handles on there are now RachelPedd, so it's very easy to follow me on social media now. My name is the same across all platforms. So anyway, this is the utility room. We're going to call it the utility room. So we're working on this room here. It's a very, very good size, but I thought because there's potentially a family of, is it 6? It's about 6 Sims living in this house. Maybe you could even fit 7 if you wanted to. I thought it would be kind of a nice idea that they had like a big laundry room with a toilet in it. So that's sort of the thought process here. So as I explained before, there is no shower, there's no bath. And that's simply because I wanted to try and create this sort of like unit for the washer and dryer, which I ended up really, really liking actually. I did a similar thing to this in one of my other speed builds that I posted I think a week or 2 ago now, and I kind of wanted to go there again. And also this is the first time that I have included a vacuum cleaner in one of my houses. So I just thought that's the kind of thing that you would have in here. So I thought it added a little bit of realism. If you don't have the I think it's the Dust the Bust kit. If you don't have that, then the the vacuum cleaner just won't appear. It is the only item from that pack that I actually use, so it's really no big deal. So the thought process for this bedroom here was that maybe it's for either a teen or a young adult sim. That was the thought process with this. It's quite a grown-up room, and given that it's on the ground floor, I don't like putting kids' rooms on the ground floor of a house when the parents are sleeping upstairs, because I start thinking, well, if I had children and we had a house, I would want them sleeping on the same floor as me, just in case anything happened. Because if someone breaks into the house, chances are they're coming on the ground floor, right? So yeah, I would just feel safer if my children were on the same floor as me. But given that this particular sim is like probably the oldest child, well, is the oldest child in the house, I figured it was okay. So you'll have to let me know what you think of this one, but I've been doing a lot more builds recently where I'm including bedrooms on ground floors. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I know it's quite common in America. From what I've seen, I might be completely wrong, to have like a bedroom on the ground floor. Anyway, so we've gone for a very peachy, pinky, creamy vibe in this room, and I ended up really liking how this turned out. Actually, they've got their own desk space, they've got a wardrobe, and it's just a really, really nice room, and it's a really good size too, so I think it allows this sim to be a little bit more independent from the rest of the family. I think I talked about this in one of my other speed builds too, and I ended up doing that bedroom on the top floor, but that sim had an ensuite, because the idea was that they were an older child and that they wanted a little bit more space. So that was the thought process there, and it's pretty much similar in this room as well. And then we ended up swapping out a few things because I was like, okay, it's looking, I didn't like the way that that plant looked from the Eco Lifestyle pack, so I ended up just taking that one out completely. And then we move on to the office, which is of course this room here. So again, if you want to turn this into another bedroom or a dining room, then you absolutely can. And I ended up turning it into an office just because, I don't know, I just did. I feel like it's quite realistic to have an office in a house now, especially with everything that's been going on. I think a lot more people have been working from home and have been utilising space in their house more to work from home. So that was the sort of thought process behind this. There's nothing particularly special about this room. It's just an office. It's very small. So yeah, I do really like it. It's just there's not a lot going on in here. There's a desk with a computer on, and then we end up putting an easel here as well, so your Sims can do a bit of painting if they really want to. Yes, I do. It's very nice. I like that how this looks very much. It's very bright and airy, and it's just really like clean looking, which I really like. And then we end up moving onto the upstairs here, and we work on the master bedroom. Now, I went for a bit of a bold colour scheme in here, so we end up going for cream, grey and orange with a little bit of brown thrown in there too, because this rug, I think it's from My First Pet Stuff, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like I'm swearing when I say that, because that stuff pack, I mean, I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there with it. It feels like I'm swearing. So anyway, this rug matched perfectly with that bit at the bottom of the bed, a runner or like a throw, whatever you would want to call that. I don't really know. So we end up going, and initially I was going to be like, woo, loads of orange. And then I was like, no, that's a bit much. That's a bit too in your face. And so we end up toning it down just a little bit, which I think worked out really nicely. But it's a very good sized room, and the ensuite is just on the right hand side there. As I explained at the beginning of the video, I did not record me doing any of the bathrooms apart from the one downstairs, so they're already done. The main bathroom is just on the right there, and then the ensuite is just now on the right. So this is not a colour scheme I don't think that I've ever experimented with before, but I really like how this came out. And this bed from the Dream Home Decorator pack was the whole reason that I built this room around this colour scheme. So it's such a nice bed, and I was like, oh, let's just do it, you know, let's put a bit of colour up in the bedrooms, because the downstairs is quite muted and quite neutral. So I thought maybe this family were like, yeah, let's put a bit of colour in the bedrooms. And the bedroom that we're going to work on next is probably my favourite room of the house, and you will see why in just a moment. I think probably in a couple of minutes, but Anyway, so end up just putting a few clutter items in here, using a lot of items from the Dream Home Decorator pack because it has very quickly become one of my favourite packs to build with. I mean, it really is a builder. It was a builder's dream pack, let's be honest. I really, really like it. So here we go. We are working on the twins room. So there's a bunk bed in here. It's very pink, it's very purple, it's very bright and cheerful, and it's easily my favourite room in this house. It's so nice. I can't wait to hear what you guys think of this room. And I used this rug again, so it's a different swatch from the rug that we used in the parents' room, and I came across it accidentally because I was going through the different swatches and I was like, I have literally never seen this rug in my entire life, and so I'm going to build a room around this rug. And it came out so nicely. It's so I love this room so much, and I don't want to say that I don't do pink rooms very often, because I feel like I've done them quite a few times, but they don't tend to be my go-to. And then I like filtered all the items by pink and blue, and I was finding so many items that I've just never come across before. And I love filtering items by colour because it's a really, really good way to find swatches of items that you probably use all the time but just aren't aware of because you don't even notice they're there, because you make a beeline for the items that you use all the time, don't you? And you're like, well, I'll just go for that one, but you probably miss some that you've never used before. Anyway, so we really went clutter crazy on this room, like I do with all my kids' rooms, because it makes them look more realistic and more lived in, and it feels like they've just got so much life in them, and there's actually kids that use and live in this room. And I'll be honest, I wouldn't have minded living in a room like this when I was growing up. This is a nice room, right? Again, I think you'll probably sat there thinking, is she finished cluttering up? Is she finished? No, I'm never finished with kids' rooms. I feel like I just keep adding stuff. And then we move on to the single room, which is very blue and yellow, if I'm not mistaken. And so you'll see here, it normally takes me a while to find a children's bed that I want to use, but with this one, because I'd filtered everything, I was like, yep, that's the one I'd like to use. And we use the same swatch as in the pink bedroom there, but this is a turtle and it's like green and blue instead, which I thought fit quite nicely. But I don't know if I definitely don't. I was gonna say I don't know if I swap this bed out, but I absolutely don't. And again, this room came out really, really nicely. I love doing kids' rooms and experimenting with different colors and just making them, they're my favorite things to decorate. They really, really are. So we end up putting, I say it's blue and yellow, but there's like other colors thrown in here too. So there's pops of green and other colors, just because I didn't want it to be too matchy because that's not very realistic. But we end up just cluttering the walls up and putting posters everywhere. We put a wardrobe in and then a toy box, and just, it's so cute. I absolutely love it. But I will leave you guys here because we are very nearly at the end of the speed build. So you can grab this house now. It's available to download from the gallery. My origin ID, of course, is RachelPedd. Tray files, as always, are linked down in the description below. You can get them from Sim File Share. But thank you so much for joining me here today, everyone. I hope you guys have the most amazing weekend ever, and I will see you next time I post a speed build. Bye!
Searching for something that ain't lost. Have we got our lines crossed? We're wasting time on stuff that doesn't really matter, while wishing for something better. I try to fix things that weren't broken, misunderstandings and words unspoken. We fall apart, and I won't dare to say, do you feel the same way? Maybe same way, then don't pretend that everything's okay.